I'll be right back. Caught me off guard. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm here. I made it. It's almost midnight, but I made it. Let me know that you can hear me by typing either day 8 or jury hurry up in the chat. Day 8 or jury hurry up. Vale got to go home. In the chat, let me know. There you go. I can hear you. You can hear me. Thank God. All right. I'm going to give this disclaimer, and I'm going to have to give it a couple times because y'all, people be joining at different times. So I'm trying not to get an attitude about people giving commentary on things that I've warned about. I did attempt to slow down the chat. I even looked at YouTube videos. There was people suggesting options. It's not working on my end. And my live I'm doing through StreamYard. So the way to do it may be different than what some people are advising. But if you have a suggestion, put it in the chat. And I'll ask our moderator, our backstage moderator, at least for this evening, is Alice, blessed child of God. I like saying it like that. Alice, if you could put up, if someone makes a comment with like instructions and they know how to do this, slowing down the chat from StreamYard, put it up for me. And then, I'll try it even while on this live. Because I do want to resolve that. Because even when I was watching back, no, well, I hear you, but trust me, it gets really fast. And I saw that last night. So it's something that, what's happened with you, Bridget? You can't get in? It's the same link for you. That's our other backstage moderator who's been helping us out during the trial updates, Bridget. Hopefully she can do that. I ain't gonna be able to do it right this moment. Maybe when I do a commercial break. But what's up to our YouTube fam, Facebook, Twitter? What else are we on? I think that's it right now. I'm gonna start doing TikTok as well soon, but yeah, you got to get set up for all that. Make sure, please, as you come in here to hit that like button. Show me some love by hitting that like button. It goes really far into helping this channel really grow. Also, just let me know where y'all are viewing from in the chat. I like to see where you guys are viewing from. And speaking of that, it's really cool that our VIP text community, which has now been coined Vale's Important People community. Thanks to, there go Bridget. Hey, Bridget, I see you down there. It was coined by Pastor T. She sent me a message today, text message, and she coined the name Vale's Important People. So it's the Vale's Important People text community. I really loved it. And the cool thing about that is that I can see where you guys are from. So I can see how many people we got in Atlanta, Chicago, like our biggest market right now. And we'll do that in like a more casual live. But it's like the top 3 is Atlanta. I want to say St. Louis, Atlanta, and Chicago is like number 3 or 4. It was kind of, I'm like, where I'm from. Celeste, y'all watching? What's up with that? But anyway, so it's cool for that. But also consider joining our text community. It is not. And I was going to say it's scrolling down on the screen below you, but it's not. Is that it now? Yes. Please join our text community. It is scrolling in the red across the bottom of the screen. And with that, you can get the updates on the trial, which is almost over with. Yeah, we're waiting on the jury right now, which I'm going to update you guys on that. And but you'll get updates on that. And then we got other stories. People have made some great suggestions of everything from R. Kelly to, there's some internet scammers who are being sued by states and all kind of. We got the Meg the Stallion. And so if you have any suggestions of what you would like for me to cover next, like in a live stream, even pre-recorded is fine. Just send me a message in our text community. And you'll also get channel updates of when I'm uploading new videos, because YouTube is not always consistent. It's actually pretty bad with that most of the time. Also, because it's a community where we work together and we're growing together, you also get some insight, and I kind of pick y'all brains about everything from, things to do with the business, next moves, logos, thumbnails, video ideas like I'm asking for now. And then also there's, some personal updates and tidbits about me here and there. I would like to share my biggest news that's coming up very soon, but unfortunately, everybody ain't your friend. So there's that. Maybe Patreon, I'll feel a little bit more comfortable with that, because, there'll be tiers, and I feel like, hey, if you're paying enough money for it, then fine. But most of your haters ain't gonna want to give you money, and, it ain't that serious. So but anyway, also speaking of ways to support me and this channel, and I greatly appreciate it, because you may notice, and I'm hoping that you notice, that our internet connection so far seems to be pretty damn good. And that's in part because I saw the live last night. I watched pieces of it, and it was horrible. And my perfectionist spirit was grieved all night. And I woke up this morning and I said, you know what I need to do? Order Ethernet cable from Best Buy and plug it into that router in this closet to the right of me. And so that's what I did. So far, we're looking good. And so I'm going to be carrying around every time I travel now a 50-foot Ethernet cord, because sometimes, you're in houses with upper floors and the modems downstairs or something. We're going to always have good internet connection as much as we can when I'm traveling, because we got some other stuff that, I might have to travel for. And I got to come back here for his sentencing, Tim's sentencing, and I'm claiming it. We ain't got no news yet, but I'm claiming that I'll be back here for his sentencing. And also we have Terica and Trevel. I'm saying that name I got used to saying, but Terica and Trevel's sentencing, which will be in another couple months as well. I'll be back for those. I'm sorry, it's not him. It's Terica and YL. I'll come for theirs. Trevel, we pretty much know he should end up getting life based on the rules. So, but anyway, back to what I was saying. The ways to support: we have our Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, all of that scrolling across the screen. And what I was saying when I went the long way around, because I'm tired and I get random, hence the name of the channel. But the donations you guys gave made it easy for me to say, oh, I'll just go buy an Ethernet cable because we need good service here. And yeah, it was very good. So you guys, supported that, and I really appreciate it. So with that, getting into our community guidelines, aka our purpose-driven community rules of engagement. Please remember in the chat to not use any curse words. Please also don't use the F-bomb and then just put a star for the U and think that's okay, because that's still a little too close for comfort. So misspell if you have to. Absolutely. Like, you can't help yourself because you curse like a sailor in real life. If you can't help yourself and you need to type curse words, please misspell them. Please misspell them. I deleted a couple comments when I was watching the little bit that I did watch last night before I crashed. So please do that, as well as, the word ill with a K and some murder, or some people say unalive. It's your choice, the more proper way to say it without using the M word. You can say M word. We know what you mean. And if you if you accidentally type those things, it happens. I'm not necessarily going to get offended unless I'm noticing that you're a repeat offender. But if that happens, our moderators, our wonderful moderators, will be more than happy to delete that comment for you. Also, this is my virtual home. You have been invited. Welcome. Wipe your feet at the door and take off your shoes. I don't want all that nastiness. Don't bring no nastiness up in here. And so with saying that I don't want no nastiness up in our virtual home, that means that my real life rules of engagement apply to this platform, because it's one that was in this head and God gave it to me, and now we're all existing in it. That is to be kind, be respectful, disagree without being disagreeable, and that means don't insult this community, any members in this community, or the host. You can disagree with me. That don't bother me at all. You can literally disagree with every single word I ever say. Don't do it in a disrespectful way, because I can get disrespectful too. And I try not to let people see that side. So, and I won't, I'll just delete you. So, block you. So anyway, with that, I've been pushing through because we were in court all day today from 8:45. Well, I got there like 8:30 all the way till, when did they let us go? Like 5:30 or something like that. And today was different because there was no testimony. We would go in and out of the courtroom, but we weren't in the courtroom being engaged and having things happen. We were basically sitting in the media room, keeping ourselves busy for hours. So you guys know, it's almost like being in a study hall in high school. Well, but you would be, acting a fool with your friends. I was acting a fool with my friends too. But you know what I'm saying? It can get it drains you in a different kind of way. So I am running on steam. However, you guys have truly blessed me in this, almost 2 weeks now, like on so many levels, not just, the super chats. Thank you for that super chat on the screen, but not just the super chats and the cash apps and all of that, but even just riding with me and all of the VIP text community growth and the wonderful messages you guys send. Like we've gone to another level. Like we've gone up a step, and that's just truly been a blessing. And so because of that, because of how much you guys have blessed me in these past 2 weeks, I wasn't going to leave y'all hanging tonight. As close as I was teetering, but it hit me. It was like, to whom much is given, much is required. So this is me living in a much is required moment, because I got my Chick-fil-A waiting over there for me to warm it up, because now it's going to be all, soggy. But I got that waiting on me. And, I would love to just be watching some reality show until I fall asleep. But anyway, that means this live is not going to be long. Won't be before you long. Not tonight. But also at the end, because this part, my notes won't be as long, which is good because it gives us time to, connect and all of that. What I'm going to do once I'm done with going over what occurred with the jury deliberations today, I'm going to, after that, I'm going to then answer super chat questions. And those questions I started compiling from our VIP community members, which is free. So again, if you have questions that you want to see answered, the best way is going to be either the VIP text community, ask it through there, or through the super chat, which would make you be able to get your question in basically in real time during this live tonight. And moderators, our backstage moderators, Alice, blessed child of God, and Go Gadget Bridget. Ladies, if you could make sure to start the super chats, all the super chats. That's all I need you to start tonight, because we're not going to be here too long at all. You may get an hour and a half max is all I got, because we got to do this all over again tomorrow. So anyway, let's get into it. So I don't think I forgot anything. Yeah, I think I'm good. Okay, so let's get into the events of today. So remember, we were not in trial today. We had the closing arguments, and I'm gonna catch some of y'all up. But for those of you who are not aware, the attorneys did closing arguments. Was that yesterday, y'all? See my brain. Was that yesterday? That was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday, I think. But they did closing arguments, and so the jury has been deliberating since yesterday afternoon. So now we're technically in like day 2 of deliberations. Some of my cohorts, the media colleagues, were calculating about how many hours we were into, and I actually have it here. They calculated that we're about at 13 plus hours of them deliberating, the jury so far. So although we're in deliberation, we still end up going in the courtroom for notes, and Judge Ross calls us into session, them, when I say us, you know what I mean, them, into session. So this morning, Tim was brought in. Tim was running a little late, so we got started a little late again. Tim was running a little late. It probably was no more than 10, 15 minutes, maybe. But he was running late. They brought him in. I noticed when they brought him in, did I bring? Hold on. Oh, I jumped. Sorry. I'm on the second page already. I'm really trying to rush y'all out of here. I just skipped a page on y'all. I probably shouldn't have said nothing. But anyway, Tim walked in. If I didn't have this routine of what I talk about, I could have got away with it. But anyway, Tim walked in. Today, Tim he ain't walk in. He was brought in shackles. Tim was brought in his blue pinstriped suit. I feel like it was, I did not tell y'all he had that on yesterday, because when I saw it, I was like, ain't that the same suit from yesterday? But Tim had on a blue pinstripe suit. It was either from yesterday or the day before, because it's like, I just seen that. He then had on that gray turtleneck again, the same gray turtleneck we've talked about, I think twice before at least now. For a rich person, he showed his repeating outfits pretty quickly. But anyway, then with him were two marshals. He had the CIA acting guy, the white guy, and then he had it was a Latino guy who was actually sitting furthest away from him, closer to the judge and the clerk. And I wrote here that the courtroom at around that time, once we began, was about 30 to 40% full. It was pretty empty, is basically what I'm saying. It was pretty empty. And we started somewhere around we started somewhere around 9:30-ish p.m. and p.m. Y'all see how turn it. a.m. And so Judge Ross called us to order. He said that we were having a hearing outside of the jury, basically. Basically, we're talking outside of what they can hear. And so he then began to explain what will happen when the jurors were going to be let in. So he's kind of saying, well, I'm going to talk to them about this. I'm going to remind them about that. And then I'm going to, let them go. They're going to come in here and get their notebook pads. I didn't know how that part works. So when they collect their notebooks, when he dismisses them in the evening, which he did yesterday, and I was trying to get out of there, so I missed that part. But Chronicle Speaks updated us on a couple things I missed. But what happens is, at the end of the day, he has them come into the courtroom. He gives whatever closing statements, reminds them, don't you talk to nobody about nothing that has nothing to do with this case. Don't you look up nothing. Don't you do nothing. Like he does that scolding parent thing, but he's nice. But he does that, and then he tells them to leave their notebooks behind, and then the courtroom clerk collects them all, and they're numbered. They don't go by names. They're just numbers. Their jurors are considered numbers. So their number on their notebook, matches whatever their jury number is. They are always in the same order. They always have to sit in the same order. Ain't no, I want to sit next to you because we become buddies. None of that. You sit wherever you started sitting, by happenstance that day that you became a juror, is where you stay throughout the entirety of the trial. There are the 12 jurors who are in deliberation, but there's also the what do you call the alternates? The alternates jurors, is 3 of them, and I actually saw them on the elevator. In the moment I didn't realize it until I was getting on and they had completely got off. I said, oh, those are the jurors that are the alternates. They are held sequestered in a different area than the jury who is actually deliberating, because they're just backups and they can't be in the process. And they were just being brought up to the courtroom by the clerk, the courtroom clerk. So anyway, the jury then comes out. Ross then apologizes to them for the short delay, because Tim was late, and every day we delay by something, really. But he then gives them his instructions. They were pretty light, like grab your notebook and that kind of thing. And so they then leave, and then Judge Ross tells us, the public and attorneys and stuff, that the court is now in recess. So that means we get to leave and do whatever. Nothing's happening right now. So then, and after he said that to us as the public, he asked the attorneys for both the defense and prosecution if they could stay close by for about 30 minutes, just in case the jury has questions or notes kind of like right away as soon as they get in the room. And at that point, Michael Leonard, who is Tim's attorney, said he'll be in his conference room all day. And then the government basically conferred, like, we ain't going nowhere. We trying to get this over with. We don't want y'all having to look for us. So they have their own conference rooms outside of the court, like literally right outside of the court doors are like 2 doors to the side. One is a conference room on the left, one is a conference room on the right. And the one, well, it depends on which direction you're going in, but one is for the defense and one is for the prosecution. And that's where they hang out basically. And they keep their evidence and work through their paperwork and all of that. So that's where they were hanging out for the most part. During that time that I was just speaking of, no Montgomerys were present. I did see Miss Robbie's really good friend there, who's like one of her neighbor friends. She was there. She's been there every day. I just learned more about her. So she's been there every day. Well, just about every day. And then the Griggs, they didn't come in for that part. So the Griggs family, they did not come in for that part. So then it was definitely within the first 30 minutes, we got the first question of the day or note of the day from the jury, which happened to be their third note since they've been in deliberation. So yesterday they had 2 notes. And when they say notes, it's basically the jury is sending something to the judge, asking a question or asking for something. They call it a note. So now we're on the second day of deliberation, and it's their first note of the day, but it's their third note total. So Tim is brought back in. So every time this happens, we get a little notification. There's I'm forgetting everybody's title. I know his name. I don't know who want their name out, so I'm not gonna tell his name. But there's a guy who handles us as the media. And so he'll text us or he'll come in the media room or catch us in the hallway and be like, hey, they're calling us back or whatever. And so at that point, we have the choice to stay in the media room and watch what's happening on the screens there. There are multiple monitors. There's monitors on our desk. There's big 50-inch monitors, 2 of them like within the middle of the courtroom. At first we were staying, so sometimes I would stay in, sometimes I would go over. I started just going over each time because I told y'all Michael Leonard likes to wander away from the mic. And so you can't always hear him. But also the prosecution, they would just stay at their desk and stand up and talk to the judge. And it's like, we can't really hear what's happening. So we started going over there so that we could catch everything that's being said. So with that, Tim, each time that happens, each time the jury has a question or note, Tim is then brought from where he's being held and he comes back in the courtroom. He sits in his normal position, on the side of the defense. He's always handcuffed and then, shackled and handcuffed. They walk him over and they uncuff him. And then he sits there and watch whatever's happening. And he can also say stuff to his attorney if he needs to. So the reason they have him in there is because he may have something to add or say, no, I don't want that happening or this and that. Y'all in this Terica impersonation and Tim. I got y'all during the Q&A part because my voice is a little tattered today. Sorry. Okay, so then what I also noticed was this is where people just started to slowly come in more. So one of Tim's friend came, and I say this because the guy waved at Tim and Tim waved back at him. And the guy was dressed very casually. He had on shorts and a t-shirt. And usually everyone is a little bit more dressed, like at least casual, business casual. But he had on shorts, t-shirt, gym shoes, tube socks. But he was with a female, which I'm assuming was his wife or girlfriend or something. So they sat down and they watched, watched us find out what this third note was going to be about, or first note of the day. So then I noticed that Tim was extremely chatty with his with attorney Rodriguez. And so you guys have heard me mention Rodriguez if you've been a part of this for a while. And I could tell that their conversation was very much so unrelated to anything with this case. It just seemed like they were like, yeah, have you tried so-and-so, cologne? Like that kind of, it was one of those kind of conversations. Allegedly, I put it here because again, I couldn't hear them, but it wasn't, I could tell it wasn't about what we were dealing with. So Judge Ross comes, we stand up, all rise, we stand up, he sits down, and we're allowed to sit. And then he says that, this is a hearing outside of the jury. So that just means we're talking without the ears of the jury there. So then he says that their First note of the day is, and I quote, they wrote, prepaid phone records, all between Hill and Ellis. So between Travell Hill and Terica Ellis. And he stated that they underlined, Judge Ross stated that they underlined all and between Hill and Ellis. Like they were like, we want every at them things. So the government, then when he tells them what is on the note, he then will ask the both sides, the attorneys, like, do they have issues with the request or anything he should know, etc. And so the government said these records existed in the AT&T records that the jury already had, and they gave the exhibit numbers. And then they talked about how all the records also existed on a disc. And they were asked by Judge Ross, like, can we just print them out for them? And they said that the records were I forgot the word they were using, but it was so many of them that they said it would be very hard to print them out because it was approximately 13 pages. I'm sorry, 3,000 pages of cell phone records that they would have to try to print out. So Ross asked Tim's attorney, would it be okay to only send the jury, or would he want them to only send the jury applicable records which were applicable to this situation, not just random sweetie pies phone calls? Would he be okay with them sending just the number of pages that matter, or did he want them to send all 3,000? He was saying he was totally fine with them sending all 3,000. So what did I write here? Yeah, okay, that's what I just said. He was okay with them receiving all of the phone records. So then the government said, what the jury is requesting may not be, well, they then thought about it more, and it was Gwen Carroll who was like, actually, Judge, it may not be quite as many pages as we thought. And so Judge Ross then called for a 5-minute recess for them to figure it out, because he's like, just get it together and let me know what's what. And so at that point, I did hear that the Griggs family, this is one of my, side note observations. The Griggs family at that point was in the building during that time, but they had not come into the courtroom as of yet. They were just like certain people were spotted in the hallway, but they were in wherever their sequestered area is. And then through this, because I knew now that this was the third note from the jury, which meant they were still deliberating, and it wasn't like, oh, they're about to come out with a decision. I honestly started getting nervous, and I was starting to talk to people, and we were starting to notice things that could potentially be an issue, that could, kind of get Tim off, or get him out of some of it. And I think he may get out of this wire fraud piece of it, possibly. But and not saying he didn't do it, but it's all about what they can prove and how they can prove it. So while they were waiting on the documents to be printed, the phone records, Judge Ross called a sidebar. And during that time, while Judge Ross was on, doing the sidebar with the attorneys, Tim was really kind of conversing back and forth with his friend. And he was doing it the same way that he was conversing yesterday with Miss Robbie. So I guess they were catching up. So then Judge Ross, he came back on the record, and he said that he showed the attorneys what his response to the jury was going to be, that they could not receive Exhibit 16 that they were requesting, because they wanted the phone records and the cell phone tower diagrams and the information about that as well. And they were saying that they could not give them that information because it wasn't admitted into evidence. It really was solely for the purpose of the expert witnesses using it as a model, kind of like giving samples and examples, but it's not for them to actually take and try to decipher. And they were basically saying without an expert, they would not truly understand what that information was or how to really work with it. So it was decided by all of them that the jury could not have that. Okay, so then we jump to, so that was that, then the judge, they decide what he's going to send, and he sends it, and then he dismisses us. He's like, court is back in recess, and then we go about our business, which is really just across the hall to the media room. So then we get another notice, and I didn't write the time. I'm going to start writing the time. Well, hopefully we won't have too much time left for me to write times, but I didn't write what time. But then probably within 45 minutes or so, we get another notice that the jury has sent another note to the judge. So then again, that means we just go over to the courtroom, and then we wait for Judge Ross to show up, and then we get to business. So at this point, the jury has sent the note requesting evidence from expert Andrew Freud and his phone records. Oh, my writing, Jesus. I have no idea what that says. So he had basically analyzed the phone records, and so they wanted his evidence that was connected to his testimony. And so Ross said that he was planning to respond that the evidence was demonstrative and not entered into evidence. Oh, so this was another situation like that, like Exhibit 16 in the situation before. So the jury's pretty much like, we want to see everything y'all showed us, like as they're working their way, I guess, through the timeline is what we figured. They're like, okay, well, where is this? So-and-so testified and they showed us this. Where is it? I don't see this in what they gave us. Then they're requesting it. And what the judge is letting them know is you can't have everything. Just some of this is, for examples. So one of my observations was during, I have another TMI moment. I went to the restroom again. And then at that point, I saw the Montgomerys were starting to be in the hall. So at that point, you had Big Ed, Tim's friend. Tim's friends with the shorts who had went in the courtroom was talking to Tim. Miss Robbie was out there, and her good friend, who I told you was already in the court, her like neighbor friend. There were approximately like 15 people in the hall at that point, and I was on a mission because I had, I was on a mission to get to the restroom. So I probably missed some people. I don't know. But anyway, you know what happens when I talk about Miss Robbie. Some of you love when I get descriptive. Some of you got a problem with it. Fast forward. Or, you can go somewhere where they're more quick and concise with it. I'm not the news. I'm a blogger. Anyway, so Miss Robbie had on a black blouse, and she had on stretch pants that were black and white. And to me, again, I don't know that much about fashion, but I think Chanel has like a herringbone pattern or something in their clothes. I could be wrong. But anyway, those look like that kind of material. It looked rich. She was very casual though, sporty kind of. And she had on those black gym shoes from the day before. This time I did want to slow down to say, can I tell what kind of shoes those was? But I'm afraid she might hit me with a pocketbook or something. Get out of here, you blogger. So I don't bother Miss Robbie. I just walk past her. I don't even try to do eye contact with her. So anyway, that was that. We were, the court was back in recess. We ran back on to our corner, and I got to texting you VIP people, updating our good people in the VIP text community. They were getting updates like crazy today until I went over my plan. We'll talk about that at some point in the future. But anyway, they know about it. Again, they have more insight on everything that's happening around here. So anyway, we're sitting there again. We're doing our thing and keeping busy. When I say that, doing our thing, keeping busy. I want to say maybe an hour and 20 minutes, something like that. Again, I didn't write times. I don't know why I didn't. That would have been a good idea. But something like that. All of a sudden, we were told the jury has come with another note. So now we getting a little, our hearts are dropping because it's like, oh, Jesus, they ain't feeling like this is cut and dry the way that we all have for 2 years since we found out. Like since we found out in August of 2020 when he was finally captured. Okay. So anyway, they came out with they sent the fifth note to the judge. Now, this is a total of 5. So this is since yesterday. We're counting all the notes. They're up to note number 5 since they began deliberating on yesterday. They asked, may we have all of the testimony? Oh, I'm sorry. No, my chicken scratch. They asked, may we have all of Tim Norman's phone records and for all of his phones? Now we're getting somewhere, because they like, we finna go through this with a fine-tooth comb. So they give exhibit numbers, etc. Then the prosecution, the government, says that exhibit 6 alone was 7,000 pages. They were on it, y'all. They was on it. We know the feds don't play with people. They were on it. So then Judge Ross then asked Tim's attorney, the defense, what was his position should that amount of pages be narrowed down to a certain period of time. Did he want any adjustments? So it's similar to what he had asked him with the other evidence as well. At this point, Judge Ross is like, I guess he wasn't thinking ahead of time, because we knew that they had, didn't they say well over 40,000 pages of stuff, like of documents? So something like that was some really crazy high number. So anyway, at this point, I think Judge Ross was like, okay, wait, we're not going to be wasting all this paper and killing all these trees. And so he said that he was going to have IT, their IT department, bring a laptop to the jury room, and they were going to connect that laptop to a TV. And then that way they could just put the evidence on that, the evidence that they would give them, and then they could display it on the screen and, all see it together. Made a lot of sense. Let's go electronic. Got to be paperless as much as we can. So, I did write a time here. I think I woke up at a certain point. So I put at 11:48 a.m. So remember, we started whatever time I said. What did I say? 9 something? We started at 9:30-ish. So now we're at 11:48 a.m. when we go back into a temporary recess. So we've done all that. Now we've gone back to our cubby holes to stay busy. I was getting a lot done, though. I wasn't mad at that part. It was making me disciplined. I felt like I was in corporate America again. But anyway, okay, so then at some point, because I ain't write the time, at some point, it probably felt like another 30 to 45 minutes. We didn't get a notice that the jury has sent another note to the judge. So Judge Ross. So now we're at note number 6. And their request, and I quoted this, was all of the evidence submitted during Darrell Howard's testimony, please. And Darrell Howard, for those of you who don't know, is DJ Beats. DJ Beats, he's AKA DJ Beats. DJ Beats is the friend of Tim's that he had pick up the 5K from the Chase Park Plaza Hotel and take it to Travail. Okay, so I'll just keep moving. So at this point, Judge Ross, then they're trying to figure out stuff with the evidence, like, okay, well, what evidence numbers belongs to Darrell Howard's testimony. So the attorneys are trying to figure that out, because it was a lot for them to, it was a lot. They had a lot to work with. So while they were doing that, the Judge Ross just informed them basically that the flash drive that was needed for the 5th note, like the evidence they were requesting in that 5th note, he said that flash drive was now ready and being submitted to the jury. So they were about to take that flash drive to them so that they could see the evidence that they requested in the 5th note. And then Judge Ross called another recess. So we left the court and we went to our cubbyhole. And so then, still don't have no times. Then we received the 7th note. That might have been an hour and a half or so. Hour and a half to 2 hours, maybe, because it was like a longer gap, because then we started hoping, maybe that's the last of what they asking for, because they're getting so close to, making a decision. Not so much. So anyway, we returned to the court, and their next note, the 7th note, was the jury was requesting a record of Darrell Howard's cooperation agreement with the government. And they wanted to know basically why he wasn't indicted. And the government said that their response to this question from the jury was there was no agreement, cooperation agreement with DJ Beats or Darrell Howard. And so, with this question, Judge Ross said that his response, and he's just always confirming with them, kind of making sure y'all cool with, this is what I plan to say. are y'all okay with it? Not that if they say no, he gonna do anything they say, but he just likes to take it into consideration. So he says that what he planned to tell them was, you are to be guided by your recollection of the testimony. And Judge Ross said that he could not further instruct them, that it basically would be leading them in some way to further instruct them. And so Tim's attorney was like, I want you to instruct them. And Judge Ross's response was, I will not. I cannot. I will not influence them, basically. And so Tim's attorney's response was, Judge Ross, he's basically like, you have anything else you want to add? And he was like, yes, I would like to request a mistrial. So remember, for those of you who've been going this whole path with us, Tim's attorney, almost every time he does not get his way, he requests a mistrial. Again, he's setting the tone for an appeal. This is what he does, tricks and stunts. And so he's setting the tone for, hey, here they were supposed to allow me to do this and they didn't. And at that point, I knew it was wrong. That's why I asked for a mistrial and they didn't give it to me. This means that we need an appeal, all of that kind of stuff. He's working the system. He's good. He is good. He is good. It sounds like shenanigans with a lot of the stuff I tell you, but he's doing that on purpose. This is part of his strategy. So then I wrote, when we went back in for that piece of it, by that time, the courtroom had started to get a little crowded. And so Miss Montgomery was there. Miss Robbie was there. Big Ed, Michelle had finally come. Mr. Bussey was there. And allegedly, based on my conversation with y'all yesterday, Monique was also there. And then allegedly, based on my conversation with y'all yesterday, the gossip, the speculation, was that Miss Robbie's boo thing, aka alleged boo thing, was there. We don't know, but somebody might have told him about this live, because his arms wasn't around her today, but he was sitting next to her. He was sitting next to her again. And he was still dressed really nice little clean, crisp shirt, plaid shirt and stuff. So good for Miss Robbie. So then, these are just my side. Oh, no. Okay. A couple little side note things that I wanted to let you guys know. Because I haven't really talked a whole lot about the jury, but I found out the person who was elected to be the foreman of the jury was a guy who sat, I think, only one person in from the edge closest to us. And he's a white guy, blonde hair. He's probably mid to late 30s. And what I will say about him, and this may be good, this might be working in our favor, so to speak, is that he was the person that we all, before we even knew he was the foreman, agreed that we would notice he was taking diligent notes. He was always writing, always paying attention to the screen. So if anyone, like if I had to pick any of them to be the foreman, I would have picked him for sure. So that was good news, that the foreman paid a lot of attention. He was really paying attention. So, and I think I told y'all about the notebooks. The court provides the notebooks for them. I told y'all that before, but I wrote it again today for some reason. So then we leave there. We're back in recess after that 7th note, where they're asking for, the record, the cooperation agreement with DJ Beats and the government that never existed. They never made an agreement with him. He just wasn't charged. I think he was innocent. I don't think he knew what was going on. He was just doing what his friend asked him to do. And he had involvement with Tim and money before. Like, remember, he told us that he was already holding 20 grand for Tim at that time, that Tim asked him to give the 5 grand to Travell. So it doesn't seem as strange, So anyway, we do that. And I want to say this probably was a bit of a shorter time period. Was it, or was it long? I can't remember now. 45 minutes. Let's just throw that out. 45 minutes or an hour, something like that. We didn't get another notice that the jury has sent an 8th note of this deliberation. And in this one, let me read ahead, because this one threw us off a little bit, because we're like, what? So in this 8th note, they asked Judge Ross, they said, we would like clarity from you with the difference between conspiracy of M and the conspiracy for M and higher versus crime of M for hire. Did I write that right? I think I did. I don't know. Anyway, they wanted to know the difference in the terminology. And Judge Ross's response, and he, again, he's telling us out loud, or telling them out loud, the attorneys, what his response, his planned response is. He says he's planning to tell them that you are to be guided based on the previous jury instructions that were basically read to them on yesterday. So remember, he spent 30 minutes yesterday reading 20-something odd bullet points of the rules for the jury, the instructions, I should say, for the jury. In that, I do remember specifically him defining these terms. And so he's like, you guys need to go to that and figure it out, not come to me, because I'm not going to spoon feed you and then lead you somewhere. And so both, yeah, and this was at 5:43 p.m., if I'm not mistaken. I wrote 5:43 p.m. and then didn't finish my note. I just realized that. But he basically said that there was like no pushback really with that. And I was in agreement, because I was like, he told y'all that. But that's it. So that's where we left off. We were just kind of hanging out to see, after that happened, we were hanging out to see if the jury was going to continue after hours, like after business hours, because it was up to them for the most. Yeah, it was up to them if they wanted to continue past business hours, or if they were going to want to go home and then come back, in the morning. We had to pretty much wait until 5:40 something to find out what they wanted to do. And they elected not to order dinner and to come back tomorrow morning. And one of the ways we kind of knew maybe 20 minutes before that happened was that the building maintenance, or whoever controls the utilities, called the clerk in the area we were in. And I'm calling her a clerk for lack of a proper term. I can't think of what her title was, but called her and said, do we need after hour utilities? And she said, well, I'm going to find out from the judge in like 10 minutes. So we then found out the judge didn't want after hour utilities, which meant we were going home at some point, before the wee hours. Now, I don't know if I mentioned it yesterday, but I did. I think I did. I think I remember having it in the video. But anyway, for the sake of those who don't remember or didn't hear, there is no real time limit. Oh, no, I did. I asked this question to the clerk. I asked her, how late, like, could this go? Like, as far as deliberating, how late into the night would the judge allow them to go? And I did say this yesterday, but she said that she's been there a long time and she has had it go to like 2 or 3 in the morning. And I was praying that didn't happen. The other thing we were just conversing, me and, other media colleagues were conversing about the potential. The question was brought up. What's like, at what point would a judge decide that it's a hung jury? Like, if they can't come to a decision. And so I asked her that question. That was a question I asked her today, and the clerk. And so she said that it really is no rule with that. It depends on the judge. It depends on the situation. Some judges might give them weeks to do that. Some might give a few days. So what I will say is, based on the end of today and some conversations that were had and some insider information, we kind of feel that it may be coming to a close tomorrow, hopefully. And the reason we kind of speculate this is because when you look at the notes that they request and the things they were requesting as far as evidence, it kind of lines up with the timeline of how this horrible situation has acted out. So it's almost like you can tell that they're looking at evidence going through, in sequential order. So based on the last things they've been asking for, we're like, oh, we're towards the end of this, the end of how this story ends. They're asking about Darrell Howard now. Darrell Howard is the one who exchanged the money, which, made it conspiracy for hire. So, I mean, whatever, you know what I'm saying. I'm tired, y'all. But anyway, we got to the end of it. I told y'all this part wouldn't be as long. We're at 50 minutes. I'm going to do some super chat questions, and then I'm going to throw in just a few of the VIP. And I decided to do the VIP at the last minute, because I've been going through the questions I've been receiving and adding them to my list over here. And I'm already at 21 questions. And so I'm like, it's going to take forever to get through that. Like, this is going to be I may have to incorporate it through multiple lives and not just think I'm going to dedicate a live to it. So that's what I'm doing here. So anyway, now I'm going to go to our starred comments. Ooh, are they? Yeah, they're here. Okay, thank you. Thank you, backstage moderators. I really appreciate you for this. I think this might be the time for our trusty dusty glasses, because y'all already know. Okay, so we're gonna start with, wait, I don't see no super chat on that one. So we're gonna start with this one. So this person says, Blue Sky says, appreciate all you do. Can you tell us the charges? Not in this moment. Unfortunately, I would have to read them, and I'm not prepared. I don't have none of that around me. And it's just been so much information that I just can't remember. So what we'll do is, when we talk on Saturday morning, and thank you for this, because it's taking me to a place that I didn't put in my notes. Tomorrow, and another reason I wanted to do tonight's live is because it occurred to me, I will not be able to do a live with you. I don't know if this internet is acting up, because it's Ethernet. It shouldn't be acting up. What's happening here? But anyway, tomorrow I have to check out of this Airbnb, and at checkout time in the morning. And so I'll be in court all day until, hopefully we get a verdict. And then I have to head back to the Shy. And so I won't be able to do a live. It's like last Friday. I wasn't able to do a live because I'm traveling. So I knew that I would have to miss tomorrow, and I didn't want to miss today and then tomorrow on top of that. And so tomorrow, what I'll do is I may do a little quick, video live, a quick video from my mobile phone, and do like I did some of the updates through this week. I'll do that at least I'll do that. But as far as a real live, like us interacting, doing our community thing, that will have to happen Saturday morning. Most likely 10 a.m. I almost want to move it to 9. Y'all put in the chat, would y'all want to do it? Would y'all want to do? I feel like my verbiage is all off. But would you guys, or would you all like to do our live stream on Saturday morning at 9 Central Standard Time, or 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, or 10 a.m. Central Standard Time? Put it in the chat, and I'll do a tally when I watch this back. And that's the time who majority wins. And that'll be the time I'll select for our Saturday morning. I don't think I got nothing going on Saturday morning. I hope I ain't overcommitting. I'm pretty sure my Saturday morning is open. This Saturday morning is open, I think. I'm pretty sure. So anyway, that'll be the time I'll schedule. And then we'll recap what happens tomorrow. Yeah. So then, and I said, this is my randomness. I tell y'all, I named this channel that for a reason, or renamed it this for a reason, but it's about to change again. That's another story for another time. But what I'm saying that for is that I'll make sure I have the charges where I can read them out to you guys. We might have a verdict. I might have them that way too. Anyway, I hope we have the verdict. It's gonna be really hard to get back here another week in a row. Okay, so Ms. J, hey Val, hashtag he did it. Hashtag justice for Andre. Amen. Thank you so much for the super chat. Also, slow down the chat by scrolling with your fingers. Oh, to the people yes, to those of you who, and I was doing it last night while I was trying to watch a little bit of it. I just stop it and then just start it just with Reggie Moore is saying, and I'll just move it with my fingers. It's an option. And then, we'll figure it out. It'll get figured out. I kind of think my settings is off with YouTube. They be doing some funky stuff behind the scenes. Some of y'all don't know that stuff. But thank you so much for the super chat, Maria. And then we have, thanks, Vale, for your hard work. Thank you, DK. I really appreciate you. I was Is it Inez? Ho, thank you so much for the super chat. I was really gonna try to pronounce your name, and I'm pretty sure I jacked it up. Thank you, Brown. I don't know. Is that a bad word? Like, is that a fool, Brown? Great work. You are greatly appreciated. You are greatly appreciated as well. Thank you so much for the super chat. Y'all see what, giving and helping this platform grow. I feel like our internet tonight was the best probably that it's been since I've been in St. Louis. And it was because you guys blessed us to be able to get an Ethernet cord, a 50-foot long one too. So we'll be good moving forward. Damaris Alexander, thank you so much. Vale, thank you for the very awesome job you are doing. Keep us posted on what's going on with the Tim Norman trial. Yes, I will continue to keep you guys updated. Tomorrow, it should be like today, where I was able to send more messages more often. We got an issue in the VIP text community for our people who are on T-Mobile. We got an issue. So hopefully, they didn't email me back when I tried to find out how to upgrade so that I can send everyone unlimited messages. But my workaround this afternoon was that I'm also putting that same information on Twitter, and I'm also putting it on our YouTube community tab for now. I won't continue to do stuff like that, but for now. So if you miss it, then that's a place to go. If you don't see it in the text message, the group text messages. Tim's hair, this is Dawn Smart, and she is one of my day ones, and that's why she gets her question answered without a super chat, because she has been giving to me since day one. Well, nearly since day one. Anyway, Don, how did Tim's hair look? He had a bald fade. I think I mentioned it like, day 2, I think I forgot day 1, but it's just short, low cut. No, he doesn't have the fro hawk anymore. So, Rachel M, thank you for all you do. Hashtag justice for Andre. Amen. Justice for Andre and justice for the Griggs. I don't mention them enough in my videos. Like, I talk about them being there, and I say a lot of things that let you know clearly whose side I'm on, but I don't give them enough accolades. But my thoughts and prayers are always with them, always. Jules, thank you. Jules, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Ted Bundy wore turtlenecks too. Catherine, wait, what happened? Catherine Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Wait, what's happening? Why is it moving when I'm not moving it? What's your honest opinion of the prosecution's performance? Was the evidence strong enough? The Simple Life 7. Thank you so much. Their performance was great. The thing is, for me, that makes me then say, no matter how great it was, there's still some pieces that they couldn't prove just because of the circumstances. And keeping in mind that this jury is a jury of his peers doesn't mean that those are us who watch Sweetie Pies and who were super fans and all of that. These his peers who live in the affluent area that he lived, the zip code that he lived in, kind of thing. So it's different. And so these people don't really know them and know him and know us. You know what I mean when I say know us. And so that's the part that concerns me. They're looking at this very black and white. We are not. There's a lot of grays and colors and everything for us. So I think the prosecution did I was thinking of Terra Cup when I said that. But I think the prosecutions did a wonderful job, and they had mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence. We saw that even from what we saw come out. But unfortunately, doesn't mean anything. So we'll see. Patrice Gray, thank you so much. Been riding with you since day 1 of this trial. You've grown as a content creator and journalist. Thank you so much for doing all of this. Thank you so much for the compliment and giving me a title of a journalist. I'm nobody's journalist. I'm a blogger. Like, let's not put it too high, because people will be like, he can't even use the right words. He don't even know terminology. Yeah, I'm a blogger who presents decently. But thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for your support. And I hope you ride with me after this, all of you. I know how YouTube work. I know how y'all do. Fair weather be jumping over to some other topic that I ain't covered yet. Anyway, Sharon Parker, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate you. Mayhem, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. Dear Yvette says she's also a YouTube content creator, so definitely give her a like, a follow, and all that good stuff, or a subscribe because we're on YouTube. Thank you so much for your amazing coverage. Thank you so much for being supportive. That's what we should do as YouTube creators and not be haters and competitors and all that other foolishness. Nina Ray all day. Yeah, I like that. Nina Ray all day. Thank you so much for the super chat. Deborah, I'm gonna leave it there because I want to butcher your name. Deborah, thank you so much for the super chat. You know, I'm bouncing because I'm sleepy. Anyone who knows me, my leg is going like below this camera. So that's not the camera. It's me literally doing this, trying to keep myself awake. But thank you for bringing that to my attention because I knew I was doing it, but it was helping me like stay awake. So, but I know, since I know it's distracting, hold on, let me take a quick one. Since I know it's distracting, I'm gonna watch myself. With that, let me play a quick little, give my voice a break too. All right, I'm back, and I'm reading y'all comments. I thank all of you who are very supportive. Like, let him go to sleep. And Don Smart, who said, "I get silly when I get sleepy too." Yes, that's what's happening. But I want to make sure we get through the super chats, and yeah, okay, we can do that. So once I get done with the super chats, the ones that are here currently, and if you get missed and you do a super chat after, I thank you in advance greatly. Trust me, I appreciate it more than you know. So Deborah asked. I can't understand why wasn't the rap video used as evidence. He told it all. Yeah, but yeah, there's speculation in that too. So they're only using things that are literally tied to the acts of this happening. That was him. He did. I'm not disagreeing with you because I did a video on it, and I'm gonna do another one on it because it's been a long time. But yeah. Okay, hold on. Thank you so much, Auntie Beauty. Love you too. Love you for loving me. And Margaret, thank you so much for the super chat. And Jackie County and EMJSR66. That's your YouTube name. Can we get something we actually say? But anyway, thank you so much for your super chat. I really appreciate you. I feel like I saw you somewhere else too. But thank you so much. Unreal Drama, thank you so much. Miss Dizzy Dolores, thank you for all your hard work. Thank you guys who recognize that this is a lot, but it's well worth it, and you guys have definitely blessed me. Being Marilyn Gale, thank you so much. Tori Tina's Love Life channel. I'm assuming you're a YouTuber based on this name. Please go over there and check Tori Tina out as well. Thank you for your diligence and dedication. Hashtag justice for Andre. That's right. Justice for Andre, justice for the Griggs. TK Michelle, Alan. Thank you, Alan. It's late, y'all. Aaron G, thank you so much for the super chat. And niece and Chris. RN Smith, I've seen your name, but did you do it twice tonight, or have I just seen your name? We did that. So Carolyn Green Powell, I thought it was gonna be more questions. We'll be there with you tomorrow. Support Black media. Amen. Hip Hop Inquirer. All right. Well, hope you introduce yourself. Amanda, thank you so much for the super chat. J Live Jewel Box, thank you so much. Yeah, Jewel Box News. Thank you so much. Thank you for your coverage on this case. Angela Williams, thank you so much. Yvette Luster, thank you. Where we at? Did I didn't skip nobody. Did you read the article about TV Dude, aka Tim Norman? G. Martin, Gwen, 10, and myself wants to know. Did you read the article about TV Dude? I have no Auntie Beauty. I need specific, like what article where, but probably not if it's happened in these past 2 weeks. I ain't read nothing but my notes to y'all. Literally. I don't even think I've read no social media posts or anything. I've barely been on Twitter or anything. But anyway, with that, I thank you guys so much. I did not get to our VIPs, but y'all know y'all important, and y'all know you're definitely gonna get acknowledged with your questions and stuff, and it'll just help me get them better organized anyway. But I thank you guys. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the Cash Apps, the Zelles, and all of that. Waking up to that in the morning is a beautiful thing. I really appreciate y'all. PayPal is coming soon. Thank you to my moderators on the YouTube side, as well as my backstage moderators. I'll let them come up and chat if I'm not even sure they're available, but let me bring them up. Alice Blessed Child of God and Go Gadget Bridget. You ladies want to say anything to the peoples?
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for your support.
All right. Is Bridget, you there? If not, okay, Bridget might be busy. But I wanted to give my ladies some time on screen. So anyway, with that, I'll see you guys on Saturday. It will be either 9 a.m. Central Standard or 10 a.m. Central Standard based on the votes in the chat, in this particular chat. And is that everything? I think that's everything. So with that, until next time, until I upload the next video, make sure everyone that you are safe and be blessed. See you Saturday morning. Peace.